Surprised that a Chicago native did not say a few words in English.
He's talking Spanish. He's an American, and he didn't even speak in English.
He spoke in Latin, Spanish, and Italian, did not speak in English.
He did not speak in English. I mean, I don't know how you claim that this is an American pope if he won't even speak in his native tongue. That to me was very disturbing.
Yes.
What a meltdown. This is what happens when your entire identity is built on English being the only valid language. The guy literally gave a message of peace, and all they could scream was, "Where's the English?" America just got its first pope in history, and MAGA Catholics are already losing their minds. Language outrage, JD Vance drama, and full-blown culture war panic. Welcome back to the only place that gives you unfiltered, no-spin breakdowns. Hit that subscribe button and let's tear into this mess.
Sorry.
There we go. That certainly looks like smoke, and white smoke.
Hold on, we have smoke, and it is white smoke.
There would appear to be a white smoke.
White smoke, we have a pope.
We are watching, and everyone...
The Vatican sent its age-old signal. A new pope had been chosen. But what made this historic wasn't just the puff of tradition. It was who emerged from it. Born in...
You get a load of where he came from.
History at the Vatican. The first ever American pope.
Chicago, Robert Francis Prevost, or as he's now called, Pope Leo XIV, became the first American to lead the Catholic Church. A man of modest roots, tennis skills, and apparently a great lasagna recipe. His nickname? Father Bob. Here's how the spin machine started rolling. Right-wing commentators lost their collective minds when the new pope didn't immediately speak English. Their logic?
2, 1.
I would have loved for the first pope from America to say something in English.
I was a little surprised that a Chicago...
Talking Spanish. He's an American, and he didn't even speak in English.
He spoke in Latin, Spanish, and Italian, did not speak in English.
He did not speak in English. I mean, I don't know how you claim that this is an American pope if he won't even speak in his native tongue. That is an American pope if he won't even speak in his native tongue. That to me was very disturbing.
Yes.
That's it. That was the scandal. Not corruption, not doctrine, language choice. In their eyes, the very Americanness of the Pope was disqualified because he didn't drop a "how y'all doing" during his first address. This is what happens when culture war outrage replaces actual values. Robert Prevost is American. He's from Chicago. He roots for the Cubs. He's got decades of experience in global missions, and he speaks fluent Spanish and Italian because, spoiler alert, Catholicism isn't just practiced in Ohio. The mockery was swift and deserved.
Very disturbing.
Yes, yes. How dare you? If English was good enough for Jesus, it's good enough for the Pope. Shame. Come on, you. Come on, does it really matter what language he speaks? It's church. You're going to be sleeping through it anyway.
And let's be real, this wasn't about language, it was about control. The far right saw a pope who didn't immediately perform the kind of nationalist theater they wanted, and that was enough to trigger outrage. Even more damning, the new pope's actual words, a call for unity and peace on earth, were ignored by the very people who claim to be the most devout, because for them, peace isn't profitable, division is.
They're getting a lot of attention online that are politically charged.
This one is directly rebuking JD Vance. The new pope, Pope Leo XIV, said JD Vance is wrong.
Old tweets resurfaced from when Leo XIV was still a cardinal. And guess what they found? JD Vance, the darling of Trumpism, was called out by the literal Pope. A man who now leads 1.3 billion Catholics worldwide had the audacity to say Vance got something wrong. Cue meltdown.
Is wrong.
The new Pope does not like JD Vance. He really is an everyday American.
That was meant sarcastically, but it might be the most accurate thing they've said, because most Americans are tired of culture war politics, tired of turning every holy moment into a Facebook comment section. And this Pope, he just might reflect that. The real explosion came when Michael Costa checked in from the Vatican and channeled every bit of American bravado into the segment.
I'll tell you my analysis. USA, USA, USA. Pope Catholic and American? Yup, we won the conclave, baby. Suck it, rest of the world. Woo! The Pope rebuilt for years before we got a Pope. Well, guess who's kissing our ring now, motherfuckers? Okay? Yeah.
This moment should have been about spiritual leadership, unity, healing. Instead, conservative media turned it into a championship match between real Americans and, well, everyone else. But here's where it really fell apart, when Costa, without being Catholic, perfectly exposed the absurdity of this hyper-nationalist reaction.
I'm so pumped.
Are you even Catholic?
Am I Catholic? No, I'm not, but I'm American, okay? Which means I get really excited when we win stuff. Conclaves, space races, Toyota-thons, Academy Awards. Hey, Bong Joon-ho, tell me how my ass tastes.
This wasn't about faith, it was about turning even religion into a Fox News segment, about treating the papacy like a football game, and reacting like toddlers when their imagined team doesn't run the right play. Then came the most brutal takedown of the nationalists whining about global diversity.
A pope from underrepresented countries. There's never been a pope from Africa or Asia.
Oh, yeah? Well, you know...
There's never been a pope from Africa or Asia.
Oh, yeah? Well, you know, there's never else... You know where else there hasn't been a pope before today? America, okay? And what country is less represented on the world stage than America? Do you know there's never been an American Queen of England? Think about that.
Think about that? That's not analysis. That's what a child says when they lose Connect 4. And if you thought they were done, the descent got worse. Asked about what the new pope would bring to the role, Costa gave the kind of response that sums up this entire meltdown.
Ass taste.
Look, I appreciate your patriotism, but this could have been a chance to have a pope from underrepresented countries. There's never been a pope from Africa or Asia.
Oh, yeah? Well, you know, there's never else... You know where else there hasn't been a pope before today? America, okay? And what country is less...
To which Desi Lydic flatly responded,
where else there hasn't been a pope before today? America, okay? And what country is less...
But the punchline wasn't Costa. It was the way the right's obsession with image completely overshadowed any serious reflection on faith, service, or leadership. And then came the sharpest knife of all.
Represented on the world stage than America. Do you know there's never been an American Queen of England? Think about that.
Okay, can you actually give me some analysis here? What is Pope Leo going to bring to the papacy?
Yeah, well... You know, the Pope has very...
That's not faith, that's fandom. And in a perfect closing note, Costa tossed aside every commandment, swore like a sailor on live TV, and shouted,
and he's like, "You shall not pass."
Costa, that's Gandalf. You don't know anything about the papacy.
Because he once tweeted criticism of JD Vance? Because he chose the name Leo the 14th instead of Pope Jimbo of Route 66? This is where we are. The world has a new pope, and he doesn't need their permission. Smash that like button if you're tired of the fake outrage. Subscribe for more brutal takedowns and drop a comment. What do you think the new pope should have said? Because one thing's for sure, silence would have still triggered them.